Welcome to another episode of Off the Line. This is your positive source of insights, opinions, and relevant information. This is Nori Uy, together with
Rhyan Casiño.
And Elle Quan joining you from Singapore.
All right, and guys, napaka-exciting ng ating episode ngayong gabing ito because we will be talking, and by the way, I don't think a lot of people would know this, but we are in the month of the National Indigenous Peoples. Ayan ha, so pag-uusapan po natin yan, including the Presidential Proclamation number 1906. I-discuss po sa atin bahagya yan later on ni
Ano
Ryan.
yan? Okay.
Exciting, di ba?
Yeah.
We will also talk about cross-cultural missions at kung ano ang significance ng film doon sa mission na yan. At also, yung pong Sali Daig. This is another program or project of Daig movement. So we'll talk about Sali Daig and its purpose. So magandang gabi sa aking mga kasama dito sa Off the Line. Kamusta ulit po tayo?
Good day.
Magandang gabi po. Yes.
Good day all the way from Mindanao, Philippines. And si Miss Elle ay nasa Singapore.
Nasa Singapore.
Yes.
But very soon, mapapasyalan ko kayo ulit dyan sa Pilipinas.
Yes,
Tama.
wow.
Malapit na din naman yung ating pagkakataong magkape-kape dyan sa Singapore, di ba?
Oh yes, yes. That is an open invitation.
I think
So kung
Hindi
mayroon
ko
pong gustong
makakalimutan.
sumama sa amin, text nyo lang si Sir Nori.
Oo. And by the way, just to honor, kasi ang pag-uusapan po natin ngayon, hindi lang yung National Indigenous Peoples Month, no, kundi yung significance ng arts dito sa ginagawa po natin. But today will be specific to film. Pero pasalamatan natin yung mga taong kasama natin sa likod ng camera. Andyan
Of
si
course.
Sir Christian Bayer Dala at saka si James
Very
Elaco.
talented.
Yan. Salamat
Yes.
po sa inyo.
Thank you so much, and to all the Daig movement, staff here in Cagayan de Oro because yung mga staff natin is nasa Cagayan de Oro. And of course, diyan din sa Laguna, kay Sir Nori na area,
Correct, correct. So just to get the conversation going, Ryan, ikaw naman sapagkat ikaw ay isang katutubo, sabi nga nila, no? Kasi
Ayan.
lahatin na natin, i-detalya na natin. Kasi kami ni Elle, syempre, konti lang ang aming masyadong nalalaman dyan.
Yes.
So, ikaw ang aming sandigan sa gabing ito. Ano ba itong National Indigenous Peoples Month?
Yes, actually, every October, the Philippine government is celebrating the National Indigenous Peoples Month. This is under proclamation, Presidential Proclamation number 1906, and every October we are celebrating that month as Indigenous Peoples Month. And it's interesting, Nori, and Elle, kasi ako ay hindi naman ako katutubo talaga, but I believe na lahat naman tayo is indigenous, di ba? If we're Filipino, we're indigenous in different mga tribes, no? May mga Cebuano tribes, may mga si Sir Nori is ano nga kayo, Sir Nori, sa
Hindi naman kami tribe yata, sir, kasi Ilocano.
Ilocano. Actually, yung Ilocano isang tribe din yan, di ba? Yung mga Ilocano.
Ay, ganun ba?
Noong unang panahon.
Oo.
Noong unang panahon siguro, di ba?
Ako naman ay
Sorry, di ko alam talaga.
lowlander talaga ako. But there was a moment in time, when I went to the hinterlands and the indigenous community in Bukidnon. Bukidnon is in the central part of Mindanao, and the Manobo people, the Tiguanon Manobo community, adopted me as one of their tribesmen. So a family let me join sa kanila, and then actually ang interesting part nga diyan is I was tattooed here. I-show ko. This is a tribal tattoo talaga. It's
Ano ibig sabihin yan, sir?
That's actually when you have a mark like
Siyang medal. Tama ba?
It's a round.
Medal siya.
And if you have a mark like that, you are considered as one of the beloved of the tribe. So parang it's an identity.
Ryan the beloved ka pa.
Oo nga, di ba? Actually, amazing stories, and if nandiyan ka, ma-realize mo na wow, there are communities, there are various cultures, no, that you really have to ano ba, you have to explore, at tsaka you have to respect, that's the word, no, na hindi kailangan na ikaw ay parang okay, I was raised like this, no, so I will be like this. But when you met different people, different culture, you will understand na wow, it's nice to be in unity in diversity. No, hindi unity in uniformity, but be united in diversity, no, and you understand that you don't exist alone as what you are, you know, parang you are brought up, but you have to be open-minded about everything. Am I making
El, bakit sa palagay mo, El, kailangan magkaroon ng isang proclamation? At
Yes,
that,
that's a good
kasi
question,
di ba ang
no?
ibig sabihin ng indigenous people or indigent, yung parang mga aborigines yan mga
Oo
original
nga.
people,
Yes.
di ba?
Actually, yun nga ang gusto kong malaman eh. How do you define it? And also, yung mga viewers natin, malamang maraming nagtatanong, ano ba ang indigenous people?
Yes, yun yung sabi ni Nori, no, na aborigines, no. Aborigines are the people of the land, no. Indigenous meaning you are the first
Mga
people
native.
of the land, the natives, no? Parang ganon.
Okay.
And yun lang ang nangyayari lang, the way I see it, no, na when the westerners came, no, it became parang meron ng
Dilute.
classes, no. So you are the natives, we are the from dito, and
Okay.
that sort of thing, parang meron ding marginalization, di ba?
Parang nakalimutan sila no?
Yes, and yung especially even the names, no. When you say aborigines, it's something like it's not nice to hear, di ba? Actually, the indigenous people have become the correct political word, and right now actually there's a new political word for the indigenous people. They say it the First Nation people, di ba? So from yung mga word na like the natives, actually before it was okay, but later on parang hindi na naging okay yung word because it connotes something derogatory, ganon. So it's those challenges have paved way, no, to create this celebration. It's celebrating the minority. Oh, yun. So yun yung naging marginalized yung mga indigenous people, no. And right now kasi naging minority na nga, it's important also for cross-cultural na appreciation so that we can kasi baka pag naging minority ka you feel you are deprived, you are like that, no. So dapat we have to be understanding also to our mga brothers natin and sisters, no, na who are on the indigenous community. So that's why
and I think
cross-culture is very important.
Yes. Sorry to cut you off, sir. Pero I think this is also important to note, no, na that's the reason why, and topic nga natin for tonight is the involvement, no, of arts dyan sa cross-cultural mission na yan, specific to films. So isa ba yan sa mga dahilan kung bakit natin, especially the Daig movement, no, kung bakit natin pinupursue din na maggawa ng mga aktibidades na ganito para yung mga indigents natin magkaroon sila ng boses, ng avenue, ng platform?
For me kasi arts is a communication tool, and the film is one of the it's a good communicating tool, no, na mapalabas natin yung situation ng mga indigenous minorities and indigenous communities natin through a larger audience, di ba? Ewan ko kay Miss Elle, ano yung
I've been thinking about it. Yeah. Kasi may tanong si Nori kanina na bakit nga daw siguro, bakit may proclamation pa, diba, for the indigenous people. And sa naririnig ko po sa explanation ninyo, it's really, I think one is to be able to educate tayo Diba? Na hindi na, I mean, let's face it, hindi tayo namulat sa katotohanan na to. Kasi masyado modern ng mundo. But the reality is, these kinds of people, the indigenous people, meron silang kultura na napaka-rich that they were able to preserve. And so we need to be educated na merong is, you know, an entirely whole new world, sabi nga ng kanta, na napakaganda. If you think about it, they're really full of beauty, talent, creation, creativity, diba? And I think that's one of the reasons why this proclamation was made, not only to educate, but also to protect the indigenous people group.
Also,
and also to empower them. Kaya nga dun align si Diag movement, di ba? Our Diag movement activities align dun kasi malapit sa puso natin ang ating mga kapatid na indigenous peoples group.
Agree.
So yeah.
Siguro may dagdag ko lang din, no? And this is the same train of thought eh. Kasi sabi ni Elle, there's a whole new world out there. So, biruin mo, sila yung mga naunang tao, pero tayo ang tawag natin a whole new world. Old world sila eh. Sila yung una.
That's true. Kaya kailangan itama yan kasi, di ba? Kumbaga, sila yung original cut. And let's learn from them because there's so many things that they have managed to keep throughout these centuries. And tayo, sumusunod tayo sa bago. Kasi doon tayo na-expose, di ba?
Oo.
Actually, so, there's a lot to learn, no? Even in the medicine, in the medicine, in the way of life, there's a lot to learn.
Tama. So anyways, we'll move on to our, to our next, not question, but topic rather, para maidiretso naman natin ito dun sa ating special guest for tonight. No?
Oh, I'm so excited.
Ito yung kanina pinag-uusapan natin about arts, about films. So ito naman, kasi ang Diag movement may project or may yearly activity na ang tawag ay Sali Diag.
Yeah.
So, ano naman itong Sali Diag? Siguro, yan yung magandang i-explain natin sa mga tao. And then, let's explore ano ba yung purpose nito para ito yung pag-uusapan natin nung ating special guest later on.
You're right, Nori Uy. Meron tayong activity na napaka-exciting. It's called Sali Diag. And this is going to grow. Maybe kukonti pa lang nakakarinig ngayon kung anong Sali Diag, but this is a short filmmaking competition na nilaunch natin last year. And ang ginawa natin is nag-invite tayo ng mga filmmakers na gustong i-showcase yung mga creations nila. And when we say short film, this is just a few minutes, 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Ito yung challenge eh. Kung meron kang 2 oras na magkwento, mahaba yun. But if you only have 3 to 5 minutes, kailangan mong i-distill. Kailangan mo talagang piliin yung mga importanteng points para lang mailabas mo yung kwento mo. So out of that, I think we had several entries, actually a number of entries from different parts of the country, and we chose the top.
Wow.
And ako very, very excited ako sa guest natin. So you have to stay tuned. Everyone who is watching and listening to us, huwag kayong kukurap. Kasi meron kaming bisita na very, very special. Very talented young man. And he has a message. He has a very beautiful message to send out. At I think nailabas niya yon sa first winning entry natin sa Sali Diag last year. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm excited to bring him up. Shall we introduce him soon?
But before we bring him into the program, panoorin natin yung ating teaser for Sali Diag 2022. So here we go. Alright, so napanood po natin yung teaser ng ating 2022 Sali Diag Online Christian Short Film Contest. Exciting, no? Kasi nga, last year, ito yung ating napakagandang segment for tonight eh. Ang guest natin, special guest natin for tonight is none other than the winner of the first Sali Diag, Mr. Ram Estael. Mr. Ram, welcome to this program. Kamusta po kayo?
Welcome, Ram.
Hello po, magandang araw po sa ating lahat. Thank you
Anong
for this
pinagkakaabalahan niyo po
time.
ngayon?
Right now, I'm in humanitarian aid organization. So I'm a full-time worker there. At the same time, as my hobby, of course, filmmaking, gumagawa din po ako ng films on the side. More on documentary, since I have discovered myself na mas inclined into documentary filmmaking.
Wow.
Document.
Ano mga topics mo doon, sir?
More on, right now, yung isang project ko po is focus on the Badjao people. So it's like, where are they at the time of the pandemic and how are they going through and how they have thrived sa panahon ng pandemya. So again, my heart is for the indigenous peoples, and it's really good to document what's happening in them kasi nga konti lang ang nagkukwento sa kanila. And I would just like to use my voice through filmmaking para mabahagi sa mundo kung ano po yung kwento nila.
Grabe, unang question pa lang yun eh. Napakadami na natin
Loaded
nalaman.
na, di ba? See, this is why Ram is one of my most favorite people kasi napaka-talented ng batang to. You know, he says it's his hobby. Filmmaking is his hobby. Pero sobrang talented tong batang to talaga. He is too talented to stay na pang ano lang, a hobby. You know, and he can share with you all later kung ano yung mga pinagkakaabalahan pa niya. All very impressive because you've gone to be noticed beyond, you know, beyond our circle, beyond Salidayeg, beyond the Christian community. So yes.
Pero Miss Elle, I would like to ask a $1 million question. Who is Ram Estael?
I'm Ram, born and raised in Agusan del Sur. I'm a regional filmmaker. Like that's what I do is as a sideline filmmaking, and also I'm working and I have a heart for the unreached people groups or indigenous people groups in Mindanao. So I also had the chance to serve in Tawi-Tawi before, and then right now I'm again involved in serving and in giving humanitarian aid to the indigenous peoples of the Philippines. So basically, I do ministry, and I am also a youth leader and an advocate of mental health, environmental. That's also my advocacy.
Ram, meron lang akong question. Ilang piraso ka? Kasi ang dami.
Isa lang po.
Yan yung I can do all things through Christ. Diba?
Ram, today is we are celebrating the Indigenous Peoples Month, no? And yung mga ginagawa mo is timely talaga, no? Na we would like to talk about it. We would like to hear yung paano ka na go into one community and understanding, no, yung indigenous community, because alam naman natin, no, Ram, na yung especially yung the Badjao community, iba yung perspective nila. Am I correct with that?
Yes, sir.
So paano ka nagpunta doon, di ba? I mean, paano ba sabihin yun? Paano ka nakapasok or paano mo dinala yung sarili mo, no, in a different cultural place?
Yeah. I had a chance to serve in an organization after graduating in college, and then I just have the heart to minister to them and to give myself in serving to these people. And siguro sa tanong ko, it's very important that you love the person and you just love to serve. And I mean, it takes a lot of sacrifices, and it would take a lot of courage to be in the place. Kasi nga, Muslim area, most people would say, nakakatakot yung mga areas na yun kasi nga, baka barbaric ang mga tao.
Yan eh.
Oo nga po. Pero, it takes a heart to love those people. And I think, napaka-rare ng opportunity kasi parang, I want to be different. I dare to make a difference. Isa yan sa mga gusto kong gawin sa buhay ko. And hindi lahat pumupunta sa mga tao dito. And I'm one of the people. I'm one of the people who have the heart to touch them. And that's one way of making a difference. It's my lifestyle.
And lumilitaw talaga yung sinasabi ni Ram kasi sabi nga niya, you have to love the people you serve. And last year sa Sally Daig, when you sent your entry, ito yung tinatch mo na topic, diba? Which is the winning entry really talks about a specific group of these people. Mamaya papakwento ko sa'yo. Pero ang daming, so the other entries, they talked about many different topics, pero ikaw lang ang nag-cover na Indigenous people. So, and you covered it in a way na ano siya, impactful. The first time I saw that film, naiyak ako. And that's why I'd like to invite everyone to, after watching Off the Line, hanapin nyo yung short film ni Ram. It's called Babu Jalhana. And bakit ka nga ba sumali ng Sally Daig, Ram?
First po, sumali po talaga kami ng Sally Daig because we want to raise fund. Kasi nga we have known it na meron po talagang cash prize. We want to raise fund for the media ministry of the church because kami po yung team na walang camera mismo kasi nga nabigla kami sa pandemya. Tapos yung church hindi prepared. But I really took the challenge na, Pastor, can we have to make a live stream of our church service? And then since wala kaming panimula ng March, April, May, June, parang June na ang salita, maybe we could join this and we could also try to improve ourselves also and to raise funds. Doble po yung purpose niya. That's why we joined Sally Daig. At saka sa brainstorming doon na yun, na it's also one way of teaching the children dahil yun nga I have experience in working with the indigenous people. I also have to influence the kids to love these people na konti lang ang nag-focus na mahalin din sila.
But the journey
grabe ang puso.
But the journey of the film, no, it doesn't stop in Sally Daig because right now it's in Cinemalaya, di ba? Tell us.
Yes po.
Wow! Ayan.
Amazing.
Pwede mo kayang Cinemalaya na yan?
After a year, I never considered to be part of the Cinemalaya. Since there's a submission for the exhibition. Though it's not part of the main competition, but still it's Cinemalaya, the platform itself. It's the biggest film, indie film festival of in the Philippines.
The country.
Yes.
And then I'll just try it. Of course, we know that I'll just try to submit it with the hesitations na baka hindi tanggapin yung ganitong klaseng kwento kasi kakaiba talaga siya. But of course, Cinemalaya has from the term Malaya, so it's really freely
Free,
the
no?
talents. No, I mean
Correct.
the ideas are fresh, the ideas are different. Maybe there are many submissions, but I think they have saw the potential of the film, and then the story itself that is unique and relevant also to that time. That's why we are in Cinemalaya, and wow, amazed po talaga ako sa experience. And the message, sabi ko talaga, Lord, thank you for bringing Babu Jalhana to Cinemalaya. I know the risk somehow, pero yun nga, I'm happy that people would see that this is happening. And the thing is, marami po kasi hindi nakakaalam na ganito yung kwento na posibleng nangyayari sa mga regions.
Yeah.
So with the stories that Babu Jalhana showed, it's a representation of what indigenous people are experiencing during the time of pandemic.
Right.
And Ram would like to step back, no? Kasi nga, so nagsali Daig na yan, tapos nag-Cinemalaya na yan. But would like to know, very quickly lang, if there are any, I'm sure there's many, but I'm just not sure, challenges in filming Babu Jalhana.
There's a lot of challenges. First po, wala po talaga kaming gamit. Though there are parts of the films that are shot by cell phones lang kasi low-bat kami. And then the experiences, I have the youngest which is 16 years old. Imagine 16 years old, 17 years old doing the hair and makeup. Imagine those kids. And it's quite challenging because you have the goal that this film should win. Pero sobrang stretching po, faith stretching in a way, and then the resources are very scarce po talaga. But we really pushed it hard na maybe we could not win the cinematography and all that kasi nga we really need big cameras para maganda yung cinematography and all. pero let's just target that we will have the outstanding story. And that's
Right.
Oh.
yan po yung nakapanalo siguro sa amin.
Yeah.
Story that
You
is-
talked about the challenges on the part of the production. Paano naman
po.
yung cultural challenge, if
Yes.
if you can share that?
Yes po, actually I'm hesitant if, of course, the sensitivity, it may be offensive to the people of, I have received many questions about why they're Muslims, but they're praying like this, though it was not really mentioned that they're Muslims in there. They're just also believers.
Mhm.
But of course, I understand that there are also somehow misunderstanding. But I was just talking about the reality, since I did not make the film just for this. It's not something that is picked lang na kung saan na idea, but it's based on reality.
Oh,
As you
factual
can see,
talaga.
factual. As you can see at the start of the film, it says it's an inspired story. So it's not really the exact situation. However, it's an inspired story, and maybe it's the time that people would know that this is happening. The story of Abu Janana is somehow real.
Do you think, Direct, that we need more films like this that talks about cultural significance?
Yeah, yes, I think po, Pastor, it's very important to have films like this uh, that unfolds what's really happening from the grassroots level, because the lenses are focused on what's happening on the cities and in the urban areas, but what about the rural? So I think it's culturally significant to tackle these things, to know how rich and how various the Filipino culture is. I mean, how various is the things that completes our culture.
Mhm.
Right.
Oh,
Okay. So, Ram, siguro just for the context lang ng mga viewers natin, you shot during the pandemic, yung beginning of the pandemic, tama ba?
Yes po.
Ang hirap noon, hindi yun madali, di ba? So ang daming challenge mo, yun nga, you have resource limitations, then you have a pandemic na parating pa lang, no one knows how big it's gonna be. But you made it through. In fact, hindi ka lang nanalo sa Salidayeg, napansin ka pa ng Cinemalaya. And correct me if I'm wrong, you were at Cannes. Tama ba? Were you at Cannes?
Yes, we were at Cannes.
For this film?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. No, not for this film, but you
Not
were
for this
as a
film,
filmmaker, right?
but,
As a filmmaker.
The Vineyard Films, I mean the production team, is part
Yeah.
of Cannes Marcido Film. It's the Philippine representatives to Cannes. So we have the chance to pitch there and to join.
So na-train ka, di ba? Dahil sa
uh,
mahirap na training mo sa Babu de Jalhana, because of Salidayeg, you were inspired to create this. O, di ba? Now, you are beyond Salidayeg, you are in Cinemalaya, you were at Cannes.
Yes.
Baka naririnig po ng viewers yun, yung Cannes Film Festival where all the red carpets having yung mga sikat na artista, nandun silang lahat, mga Hollywood actors, nandun po si Ram. So ganyan ang ating guest tonight. That's
thank you po. And Babu Jalhana is our first. Imagine, Vineyard Films, the first film of Vineyard Films is Babu Jalhana. That's the production that I'm already leading. And so we are part of Cannes, and we're in line with the Philippine delegation as representatives with the ABS-CBN and the production signal.
So bigger and bigger.
TV5. I'm just amazed that I'm in line with those, having started with this Babu Jalhana film. I'm so amazed.
It's just the beginning.
Yes, it's just the beginning.
It's just the beginning.
Yeah, so what can we expect more of Ram Estael in the future?
Importante po talaga yung directorial vision, that you understand things and how deep have you understood things. And by that, you can make a history and you can make stories out of the things that you were thinking. Maraming salamat po.
Wonderful.
Grabe, napakalalim.
Yes,
Magdi-director na ako bukas
That
na bukas
is
din.
Ram Estael
Thank
for
you.
you.
All right. Well, Ram, thank you. No, it's our pleasure of having you on
Thank you
this
po.
program. And saktong-sakto lang din because the title is Off the Line. So we are, we're one of those programs that we are not following a generic path. Kaya nga
Yeah.
off the line eh. Parang naiiba siya. And similarly kay Ram, naiiba siya because he's been doing films or documentaries that are really relevant to what, the time needs today. So that ends it, guys. We are very certain that you guys have enjoyed this episode. And again, of course, we can just wait to see you again next week.
May part 2 na si Babu Jalhana.
Yes.
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 We just had, meron pong sampay pahirat
Wow.
sa part 2.
Okay. All right.
Okay, bye po.
Okay, so in behalf of Elle Quan and Rhyan Casiño, again, this is Nori Uy saying stay safe and God bless.